And welcome, Sci-Fi fans, to another episode of the Big Sci-Fi podcast. We have a very special guest, fanfare, whatever you hear in your head. This young man's name is Frank. He is son to our own Adina Mignona, and there's a lot of pointing going on over here in the house there. And anyways, Frank, we are glad you're with us yet again for this very special episode in between seasons here at the Big Sci-Fi podcast. And we have done so many different episodes, folks. I think by the time season 2 ends, we will have had over 50 episodes recorded. Ooh, I think that's right, of the Big Sci-Fi podcast. And we're very quickly coming on to 1 year of us being together recording this podcast. So that is amazing.
I'm doing the Home Alone thing.
I don't feel a day over 43, which is my actual age anyways. But Frank, we've done a lot of episodes covering a lot of different stuff, and we did a 2-part we've done several episodes that I think were 2 parts, or 2 episodes that were 2 parts, if you follow me, that were all about our favorite films or our least favorite films. And so today, Frank, what's on my mind is, what are your top 3 favorite films? And they don't have to be science fiction. These are your top 3 favorite movies of all time. And let's start with number 3, and then maybe when you say number 3, and we'll just let you say why it's your favorite film, why you love it, and then maybe we'll pitch in and ask you some tough questions or just fun questions about that. So number 3, ladies and gentlemen, Frank's top 3 film. Number 3 film.
Okay, my number 3 is probably Sonic.
Oh, really?
The new one, like
Sonic 2.
Nice.
That kind of counts as one.
All right.
I just like it because I like Sonic. And
is Jim Carrey in that? Is he the bad guy? Is that right?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good in that.
Yeah. Isn't he the guy that plays the Grinch in the live action?
Yes.
Yep. Yes. We don't talk about
very good connection.
A lot of stuff in the last 30, 35 years. Yeah.
We don't talk about
he got his younger brother hooked on the movie too. So.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen those films.
It's a lot of fun. I haven't seen the second one yet.
There is like what they are good at and did. They incorporated child humor and adult humor.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it's watchable for a movie that's sort of meant to be a kid's movie. It is absolutely super watchable for us adults.
Yeah.
You know, another film, and this is not probably in Frank's top 3, but there is a film called The Sleepover. It's on Netflix, and it's meant to be kind of a kid's film, but it's about a family, and the mom is actually like a super thief of old times. She went into witness protection, got married, had kids, and they have no idea who she is until her old partner shows up and traps her and her husband. It's hysterical. It's the Sleepover is one of those movies that sounds like Sonic, that is both great for adults and kids.
I've never.
You should try. It's got all sorts of super spy stuff. Great slapstick, great humor for both adults and kids. I mean, me and my kids and my wife laughed all the way through it and watched it a second time. Actually, it was that good. So
it's like the movie Spy Kids, which was really
Spy Kids.
Yeah, I was just about to, like you said, spy stuff, and I'm like, Spy Kids?
Yeah, Spy Kids is great.
Actually,
it's good for adults and kids. The kids are the heroes, the parents are the heroes. It's right up there with The Incredibles.
Oh,
I love The Incredibles.
Yeah.
What's your number 2, Frank?
I need to make a third one. Okay.
I agree.
2. I watched it recently. I liked it. Probably Wrath of Khan.
Yes. Very cool.
Oh, look.
Okay, we gotta look at Adina's face. This is like.
Now I'm gonna cry.
Oh my God! Look at Brian. He is just going to pieces. He's like,
I don't cry.
This kid is great. You're doing something right, Adina.
Okay, you gotta give me a secret again.
Are you really crying? Is she crying?
I'm just about. This is as close as I will ever get.
Frank, whether this is really truly your favorite second movie of all time, you just scored major sun points with your mom here, bro. Major props.
Can I say this, Frank?
That
Can I
should
say
earn
this,
you a
Frank?
chocolate bar before you go to bed.
Yeah, you see if you can get
Frank.
some food out of it.
Can I say it, Frank?
Although unless
listen
you're
to me.
allergic to it.
Frank, do you know how lucky you are? Because when I was your age, my parents had zero interest in science fiction. Zero. I had to watch Star Trek by myself. I had to watch Voyage of the Sea by myself. I got to watch the movies I would watch everything by myself. I never had a parent like you do who has this way of introducing you to a wonderful genre, which is science fiction, and then be able to be there and enjoy it with you. And you are one lucky kid. You really are.
Aww.
And yeah. And
Aw.
that's why mom got all verklempt there.
So
for a
why-
moment.
Verklempt is the right word. That's
Why-
the right word for it.
Why is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time Adina Mignonia has ever come close to crying on our podcast.
In public.
Frank in public. Okay. Yeah. But I cry all the time in public. Just ask my wife. So Frank, why is Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan your second all-time favorite film? I mean, I know why. We all know why.
Yeah.
We could guess, but why is it one of your favorites?
So I just like basically the premise, like just the main thingy.
Yeah, it's a great story, right?
Yeah.
With a perfect 3-act structure.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Inside joke
Definitely.
there. So what's your number one then?
Okay, so my number one
Yes.
is Encanto.
Okay.
Oh, very
Okay.
good. That's a wonderful animated film.
Yep.
That really is.
Watched
We
it,
truly enjoy that.
Watched it like a little after it came out, and I
Uh-huh.
liked it. I watched it like a lot, many times.
Yeah.
Have you seen Coco?
We don't.
I've not seen Coco, but it was mentioned like yesterday.
Please take a moment. Since you like that movie, you'll get it. Coco is unbelievably good. It really is.
It was mentioned
Mhm.
yesterday at my school because Day of the Dead.
That's right.
Now,
Yeah.
I have to say though, one of the things with Encanto and what also partly is going to be the magic is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, yeah.
And I got him into Hamilton a couple years ago too.
Mhm.
Even with the couple words in Hamilton, whatever.
Yeah.
We just looked over that, but I think part of that magic with Encanto is Lin-Manuel Miranda and his
He's really
music.
good.
His stuff is amazing.
Have you seen
No.
Mary Poppins Returns?
No,
I haven't seen that.
Lin-Manuel is in it. He takes over the role that the Dick Van Dyke character had in it.
Really?
He is fantastic. And
I
you
need to
would-
finish
his Cockney English accent is great. And he wrote the music, he wrote the lyrics for a lot of the songs, and if you like Lin-Manuel, you gotta watch that movie.
I'm a Mary Poppins purist, but my kids adore the second film. They like we watched the first one. I grew up on Mary Poppins. I've probably seen it 50 times throughout my childhood, but I need to give the second one a shot because I love Hamilton. And I think that gentleman is one of the greatest talents of our
Moana,
time.
we like Moana too for this. I think the same reason. It's his music.
Oh, he did Moana?
He did not all of it, but several of the songs I think are
I'll be darned.
I need to actually watch the real him because my exposure is when he's in Curb and he's like the antagonist for one of the seasons. So I need to watch real Lin-Manuel.
If it's still on, I'm sure it is. If it's still on Disney Plus, watch the original Broadway recording Hamilton, which is complete. So I grew up going to Broadway plays, watching that in that format where you've got cameras up close on stage has completely ruined me for live shows, because having that view on them close up and the way they filmed it was just amazing.
It really does. It brings you onto the stage that you can't see from the distance. And in that production, Adina, King George
Yeah.
might be one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen.
Yes.
La 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 la
Yes,
la la la
yeah.
la. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
You've also got to watch. You've also got to watch if you like. Disney has a stage production of Newsies, and I
Okay.
think that
Oh,
is
cool.
also phenomenal. Way different type of musical, but also very well done. You
I'm
feel
gonna
like
get-
you're there, like you're in the audience.
Getting back to the question, what did you like most about Encanto? What
Yeah.
got to you about it?
Probably the music, like,
Mm-hmm.
and just the main thing, like,
Yeah,
just
it's
magic.
got
I
a
mean-
great story. It's got a great
Yeah.
message behind it.
Yeah, it really is.
Anything with magic, I like.
Oh, very good.
I'm sensing you like magic.
That's cool.
I like magic.
But you know it's
Well,
not
it's-
real.
It's no wonder though that he loves the magical Star Trek. So
Hey.
anyways, Frank, thank you, man, for being on our show again.
Mhm.
And thanks for sharing your top 3 kind of 4-ish shows because you put Sonic 1 and 2 in there. But your mom does that all the time on all of our lists we make. So
Yeah.
we're not surprised.
Mm-mm.
I think I did that too.
We
And
make up our own rules here.
Amidia's
No.
or
Yeah.
defense.
No,
I do
when
that
we
too.
did our top 10, I forgot to include Independence Day until Chris said it. And I had to throw one movie out and say, "No,
Let's-
that's right. I
Let
gotta
me
put that
right
in."
another wrong publicly here. Okay. You brought this up, Steve. Here's our
Okay.
tangent music, Chris. Enter tangent
Okay.
music here.
Cool.
Is I messed up on my top 10 list dramatically by not putting White Christmas in my top 10. I just
Oh,
cannot
right.
believe my wife listened to that was an episode she actually listened to as we were driving. I think we were on our way to vacation. And so we had hours to listen. She said, yeah, I'll listen to that one. And she was shocked, White Christmas. And it wasn't until I saw her shocked that my shock set in. And I said, I'm a total fake. I know I've totally misled our fans into thinking White Christmas is one of the best films ever made.
It really is.
So-
It really is. Danny Kaye and
Which is your
Bing
favorite
Crosby.
Christmas movie?
That's a
Elf.
good question. Elf?
Oh,
That's a good choice.
Elf is good.
We
I
may
do
be
like-
watching that as a family in our
Mhm.
next Pizza Friday night movie, actually.
There
Nice.
were these 2 good Christmas movies that were released like a year, 2 years ago.
which one was this?
They're called the Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, we
yeah, I
just
like-
watched
I-
both of them 2 weeks in a row.
I only saw the first one. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
The
it was
second
cool.
one's pretty great.
Second one's
Yeah.
like,
Did I
That
see
jail scene.
pretty sure you saw it.
I think that was in the
Oh,
first
okay.
one, wasn't it? Where
Yeah,
he gets
jail
with
scene in
all,
the
all
first
the
one.
instruments. That was
Kurt
really cool.
Russell, yeah.
Yeah.
And then bringing in Goldie Hawn to be Mrs. Claus was just perfect. Just
Yeah.
perfect. So, and Kurt Russell makes a darn good. He's my new favorite Santa Claus.
He's a good
He
Santa. Yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen the
There's a.
have you guys seen the trailer for the new Christmas movie, Violent
Can I-
Night?
I was about to bring that up. That I
That
don't.
looks
I was gonna say.
interesting.
I am like.
What?
I love it. I'm so happy. But I'm like. I was gonna bring it up. I'm like, well, should I?
What
Because
is
that's
this
pretty
called?
violent.
He's seen the
It's-
trailer. I don't know if I'm gonna let him watch the movie.
Santa Claus, played by the gentleman who's the sheriff in Stranger Things,
Yeah.
Right.
What can't
is
think of his
having a
name.
bad night or whatever, and there's bad guys that come in, and Santa Claus has to fight off all the bad guys, and he's got, of course, got his Santa Claus superpowers.
I just want to
It's so brilliant. It's
violent
like Santa
comedy.
Claus goes into a house doing his thing when there's like a home, like he's literally a Die Hard situation, but with Santa Claus. I'm like, I'm in. I love it. I'm so excited that someone.
I
We'll
just wanna
see.
see like an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours of just Santa using his powers to beat up bad guys.
I'm in.
Mhm.
That's what I want.
100%. I agree with
Well,
you, Frank.
All right,
Adina,
so-
the
But
only
it's,
way
it
you
looks a
can
little
match
violent
up-
though.
There doesn't have to be any plot, any storyline. Just
Okay.
Santa.
I don't want you to do a mashup of science fiction and Santa Claus, but please, Adina,
Mhm.
don't let him watch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians unless it's the MST version. He doesn't need to see.